They want me to become just like them. The perfect example of what it looks like to deny my heritage, standing out like a single grain of pepper in a bowl full of salt until you don't even notice I'm there anymore if you glance too hard. They don't research my heritage, but as a child of America, I'm required to know theirs. That's why when certain aspects of black history are uncovered, it's a surprise to us both, brother, because historically there's never a perceived problem with majority perceptions about anything. And I wonder if my brown and black brothers notice that in Christ we are called to love. The fact that there's a new nation that is governed by one authority, so when white people hated us, they were in direct violation of their supposed government. And when we hate them back, we turn God into a petty father who plays favorites to the less sinful one. But isn't that the problem? Who's less sinful? The white man's sin didn't start with slavery, but it was fully shown in that. The black man's sin didn't start an unbiblical means of liberation, but now somehow that's all white people see. The heart is deceitful and desperately wicked above all things. So excuse me if I think all black people shouldn't flock to white churches. Excuse me if I don't believe that majority people submitting to minority pastors will solve anything except for exposing the sin that is in everyone's hearts and feeding the power hungry. Then isn't one person or race being in power the reason that you hated slavery? You know what, never mind that. Excuse me if I believe that if you aren't actively trying to reconcile, then you aren't actively pushing to see heaven like you say. Excuse me if I believe that now the culture and books from non-Christians or sin-motivated Christians inform you and your ideas about reconciliation more than the Bible ever did. Talking about you a woke Christian. Could Jesus rest in your perception? No? Then you're just pursuing another kingdom that has nothing to do with heaven or God. Excuse me if I'd rather express my discontentment with white culture to white people than to build hate on perceptions that build their home in the worst parts of white America. Excuse me if I believe that more white people should join minority churches that may not sound like they do, because Jesus didn't seem like he had a preference between minority and majority churches, but your actions imply that you do. If his people, who are called by his name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek his face and turn from their wicked ways, then he shall heal the land. Too bad there aren't enough humble people willing to turn from their sin and pray. Too bad all the social media, social justice warriors and pulpit mouthpieces aren't doing anything in their communities. Too bad that we take offense to racial issues but not misquotation of the Bible. Don't you think it's crazy how they love your church but not the word? It seems that insomnia plagues the land for even the wokest. It seems that all of this is just proving that slavery exposes the deepest sin in all of our hearts. And no one wants to change. No one. Good thing that the Holy Spirit is alive and well to enable and provoke a gospel difference.